That's what happens. And then in the 90s, we have the internet, and the left wing comes along, and it's actually taken over by the right wing. Right, so you know, if I'm going to think of a left wing sort of socialist communist system, I'm going to think of they think that you're an easy mark, you're a victim, you're too left wing, and they want to convert you. But violently is not the right word. How absurdly left wing I am. I'm already almost like, hey guys, let's tamp down the robo. I fail. The more that my left-wing channel becomes popular with the right wing, the more that my left-wing channel makes money from the right. So funny. No, you're not. Bugger off. But genuinely, if you are left-wing or even sort of centre-left. I've had a lot of comments from people saying, why don't you step outside your left-wing liberal Babylon? And so this is me stepping outside my left wing to convert the alt-right to the grand schemes of left-wingism. With, Trump being elected is that the left wing isn't quite becoming. The left wing may not like me being left wing, but I am left wing. And anyway, he is very, very. I'm not sure, left wing, but he's certainly very thrown affected the way I see people. Has it made me into someone who is left wing? No, it hasn't. The general majority, and that we should try to sound left wing. So in other words, the neoconservative policies were, we can talk about things peacefully like civilized gents. The left wing says, no, you don't belong here. No, we will stamp you. That's not to do with me being left wing, by the way. That's to do with me being a lazy fucking arsehole. To him into the presidency, like, before that happened, he was generally fairly left wing. And that's part of what got him into terrify you. Sorry, I misspoke then. I think if you're left wing in America, I feel like Donald Trump should terrify you. They dislike my face. They dislike the fact that I am left wing. They dislike the fact that I am feminist. So they hit dislike. The British public to get behind some kind of, not even radical, but just left wing and not let's kill the poor party. That's why I want us to have a left-wing victory. That's why I want us to have democracy. And then all these satirical, and the liberals and the left wing say we should give a shit. Well, I'm gonna say the opposite to give it time. That people give a shit about left-wing takes. This is the reason the left wing wins so much of the time. This is left-wing liberal Babylon. And so this is me stepping outside my left-wing liberal bubble. And even they are saying, yeah, Europe is fucked. Actually left-wing. So the fact that the right wing beat the left wing isn't gonna prove anything wrong here. That's literally that actually we don't need to bow down to compromise. And that, our left-wing ideas can win votes anyway. Strong again. I think genuinely a Jeremy Corbyn-led Labour Party could be left-wing enough to we say, oh yes, the left wing and the right wing, and we've all sort of got slightly different ideas of what the left wing and the right, because the left wing can suffer through fiscal conservatism. The left wing cannot suffer through realizing I'm a left wing guy and looking back and going, wait, that's about left-wing needing. That's left-wing, and that's for you. The very fact of my existence is shameful. I mean, look at me. I'm a left-wing autistic guy with low testosterone. Only something that I think about because I'm a futurist and I'm a left-winger, and you know I really love Ian M. Banks' culture books. I am kind of, you know, more and more left-wing, is that money ceases to be important. Someone who is a genuine democratic socialist, genuinely left-wing, genuinely for equality. Guardian is left. If you think the Guardian newspaper is left-wing, basically the Canary is so left-wing that, like, something huge and big coming. I saw left-wingers, pacifists, socialists, moralists, communists, neoliberalism. Because pretty much the worst situation that the left wing could be in is if want the right wing to have other parties. Because we want because the left wing can suffer through fiscal okay? Now there are some people who have said, well, you know, Donald Trump has said some left-wing things. He has said that he is a guy. Audience, or at least the audience that I actually will admit to, is very left-wing and is very, you know, is just agreeing. The only way the left wing are going to win is if neoconservatism collapses at the same time. And so therefore the left wing are more likely to vote for more right-wing candidates. They are more likely. That means this is a place to be really good. If you're left-wing, you know, if you happen to be on the LGBTQA+, yeah, oh, this is gonna piss off the left-wing LGBTQA+ friendly social justice warrior movement, will support it. Right? Perfect straw man argument. You say to your right-wing friends, look at this guy, look at the left wing, look at the people we have to ground. He is centre-left, which is to say, he is the most right-wing, left-wing politician. Tempted to be on his side. What next? Yes, and I also believe that our left-wing papers, like The Guardian, should receive and know what to do when they speak out about this. When they say, I'm scared, what do we do? Then the left wing of Europe says that just Tumblr is like 4chan, except they left-wing you into, you know, they destroy you by being left-wing. And I have no idea whether these are you know, left-wing or centre-left people who are. There are genuinely good reasons, good left-wing reasons that have fuck all to do with immigration. That's why the left-wing votes for Jeremy Corbyn. That's why the left-wing votes for Podemos. That's why the left wing wanted Bernie Sanders. He probably doesn't mean anything. He's probably actually more left wing than the majority of the Republican Party, right? That's wing status quo. You know, I was someone who made a video saying that there are left wing reasons to vote out. I was kind of compelling in their own ways. Is that you've got kind of the left wing. We will make a better future through regular. Don't you want to strengthen your position as someone who is pro-left wing, pro-feminism, pro-representation? Promised to get in just after we had a left-wing Liberal Democrat Party break their promise on tuition fees. Basically, major left-wing socialism, right? which means that we're going to have strengthening of unions, then occasionally Donald Trump is actually a bit left-wing, whereas Hillary Clinton is a slick politician. Something that I have seen with, Trump being elected is that the left-wing, that's their whole shtick about wanting to leave, is we want to be more left-wing, right? Well, not only is that maybe not entirely true,
be in a position whereby I can preach left-wing politics and left-wing opinions to the right-wing masses, because Labour has to become left-wing. We need Jeremy Corbyn as the leader of the Labour Party, and I have
British right annoyed by a Conservative Party that was supposedly too left-wing. The left wing felt betrayed, and Labour tried to appeal to you. Damn it, is actually making the situation worse. Okay? Because whereas ordinarily the left wing might have, immigration, got a load of new people who subscribe to my stuff, but I'm fairly left wing. The left to be slightly more left-wing favourable about certain subject matter, that would be better. People saying, well, actually, I've realised that, whilst I have, left-wing values because of reason and morality, my natural... Yes, okay, we will have to suffer through the Tories. That's a bad thing, right? But if you are left-wing and all you care about is being left-wing, then add 3 people together who kind of fall under the left-wing banner. Maybe I can actually get a D&D 4th edition game. Fundamentally, right, I've already, said, hey, left-wing propaganda, I don't give a shit, I will purge you, I will delete your comments, I don't... But the left wing has to address, because pretty girls, right? Because it's kind of, I want left wing place, I'm not going to get bullied, and I just want somewhere where I can look at pretty girls. And a legitimate, within the system, political change to a more left wing, anti-austerity narrative, which means that you can avoid, and that these are approaches that the left wing, that liberals should be addressing. And who is very left-wing and very in favour of a socialised health service and a national
offering and liberal and stuff like that. I think in some areas some left-wingers are a bit insane.
Well, not even defenders of the left wing, just not full on clouded by sadistic hatred,
is caused by left wing revolution, and then you've got the great
annoys the piss out of you. Is my continuing to be left wing, continuing to stand up for the little guy, is my continuing decides you don't have rights and they're gonna fucking arrest you because they see you as inferior. So, left wing shuts down the right wing party. When the fuck did the Labour Party decide actually left wing is the opposite into military action against the left wing, against various demographics that you don't like? That would be a very stupid idea.
Increased automation, driving down the amount of jobs available. Whereas ordinarily, the left wing might have, increased specialisation.
The current right wing political status quo, you have no option. Now, the left wing are optimists. The left and all these fuckers because I am the same way, except I'm left wing. You know. And I'm, you know, I mean, I've written articles saying, well, actually, I've realised shit what the left wing thinks of them. They want to make the left wing scared. They want to upset and anger the left wing. They want
Guardian, because they're a good paper. They're a good left wing paper.
employment. And it's like the left wing has solutions, but their solutions are laughably naive. Like
this is the problem, right? It is that by being left wing and angry, and by making videos, it's okay to like me because you're a right wing person and you love to laugh at me being left wing. It's okay,
which is that I mean, it was something to the effect of, you start off a left winger, and then you start off when you're young as a out that, you know, he's actually arguably maybe more left wing than the other Republican candidates, and, you know, the fact that ironically, people who presented right wing ideals as left wing. So I don't like
conquers with these different interpretations of left-wingism and right-wingism. You know, and I suppose if you want to be...
You fuckers want to let the poor die! Fuck you! I don't care what you think! But the left wing, those are nice people, those are good. It is the far right that is presenting itself as a far more left wing, and we're centre converted, when essentially, like, there was this great, you know, left wing resurgence in Greece that was like, yeah, we're gonna overwhelm. You will be disappointed, whilst at the same time he is shown to the left wing media that there is a serious, like, I am looking into the world of, like, you know, of left-wing people or right-wing people. Tell me what you think about more complex narratives are more drawn to the left wing, and so essentially, and then the internet sort of the best people, you know, like a jam maker, nice middle-class guy who is left-wing, who's a proper rallying supporter. Now, because I'm 23. I am the grand left-wing, you know, regulated capitalist. If you are left-wing and all you care about is being left-wing, then absolutely we should leave the EU. Because
they will make the economy worse, they will make lives worse. It is not a case of left-wing or right-wing or morality, it is a case of,
hey, when the shit hits the fan, we can jet the fuck out of here. Or do you want to be someone who's got a left-winger on the front line?
That we can do this, and heck, it's worth a try. Let's make America left-wing, or at least...
Oh, well, you know, what does some, you know, self-centered left-wing autismo know about how the world works? Technology isn't gonna... And the left-wing anti-establishment candidate in the right-wing anti-establishment candidate is like, yay, racism! And the left-wing anti-establishment candidate is like, boo! I am not by any means a paragon of left-wing and LGBTQA plus and racial.
I think you can kind of see where this is going now. Left-wing podcast reviewing something called Independence Day, and
the left wing scared. They want to upset and anger the left wing. They want to make the left wing disgusted and ragey. Of you know, well, not even defenders of the left wing, just not full-on clouded by sadistic hatred.
Weird alchemy of grotesquerie achieved the feat that the left wing have been struggling with. How do you get...
Stay in the EU because you're left wing, you're a fucking idiot. Vote out. That's the more left wing thing to do. but there's bonus. It's like the right wingers are saying, left wingers, you're going on a tirade against Donald Trump and his supporters as the fucking government, and the left wing against them. You know what I say? I say the same. Because you see, when the left wing are upset, when they are angry, they get defensive, they make mistakes. Like, if you are in any way on the left wing, you cannot be endorsing anyone else other than the Democratic candidate who has, accidentally ended up being, the people's champion of fucking left-wing politics, I guess. Right person, and I am not going to be a right-wing person. I am left-wing. Left-wing may not like me being left-wing, but I am left-wing. Plus side, the fucking alt-right can't keep saying to me that, well, dude, it was only the left-wing who did that to you. Guys, there is a clear left-wing issue here of democracy being limited by the EU, taken over by the right wing, and it promptly destroys any left-wing opposition that would restore the power of the unions. Great, but that's the thing. It's not a threat that the left wing are creating. It's not a threat that the people are. They destroy you by being left wing, right? 4chan will be disgusting. Okay, yeah, I'm left wing. Yeah, I am left wing to the point where kind of on the political compass test that you can do is pretty much in the centre politically. I just happen to favour the left wing because morally and practically, it's sort of the Podquisition Facebook group being fairly left-wing, being genuinely supportive of people. Indeed, Podquisition Facebook group is of support for left-wing values in America. And I think that equally, if you are left-wing in America, this is editorial time now. This is feminist left wing. Look at how horrible Gamersgate is, and it ends with sort of, and I'm kind of like, yes, sing of my left wing videos and bask in their left winginess. You can ensure that the government is stable. Okay, it can be reformist and left-wing, and it can be destructive. That is kind of equally left-wing that I trust can kind of answer questions. Because, right, I have mild Asperger's syndrome, okay. But kind of considering that sort of describes my left-wing sort of perspective. Like, I am the guy who is. I'm not presenting myself as the decent left-wing punditry guy, but fuck it. You don't give a shit. You think I am this... Not just for the right wing either. I think that for the left wing people who has gotten into the most powerful office in the Western world, the left wing thinks that his fucking brown shirts are out committing atrocities in his... Just, for fuck's sake, stop voting Conservative. No fucking... Just vote left wing, yeah? Because left wing if you do not agree with being left wing, fuck off. Go fuck to America, or go fuck to Britain. Fuck off. Or the left wing, or Jeremy Corbyn does not continue as leader of the dominate you. So I get that there are people who are like, you're a left winger, I want you to be in pain, right? Like, And I preach left-wing feminist values to a community that is right-wing. Right?
This establishment is terrified of democracy. The establishment is terrified of the left wing. And people have asked me, well, what do you
Against, you know, the left wing, you know, candidate who is like the American Jeremy Corbyn, Bernie Sanders, everybody. I do fervently believe that. Of course I do. I'm a fucking left winger. But at the same time,
you don't have the right to force what you believe in on anybody else. And I am saying that equally the left wing doesn't have the right to force. People who scare me are the left wing, because the left wing are my friends. And the left wing can get a bit like...
maybe shouldn't be as worried about making something that will piss off the left wing, because they don't watch my stuff.
Allowed if the kings didn't have sons, so yay. No, we were for the longest time being left wing was not. You get the album and it sounds awesome, and then I started realizing that I was left wing, and it's like, oh, because what is happening is that now we are seeing militant left-wingism. We are seeing militant LGBT
against her. They will be. They might even try and get her, ruin her left-wing reputation by saying, "Hey, look, she
maybe it might be a way to preach more left-wingism to the unconverted. That maybe it might attract more people."
A sign of how violently left-wing I am. Well, violently is not the right word. How,
you know, I can be relatively safe, you know, if I talk about left-wing values, if I make the mistake of, you know, pointing out that in a world where you can have your cake and eat it too. Right? So yes, I am a left-wing socialist, bloody green aligned
vlog style videos with just me talking at length about a subject pertaining to left-wing or LGBTQA+. And essentially what we had in Britain was our Labour Party, our, you know, left-wing party, promised, okay, it's incorporating, you're a nerd and you're left-wing, but still, it's basically, you look like the kind of person I could date, send a message to get me in, that could get me, you know, a left-wing hate base. Anyway, I'm gonna go have another drink. That there are people who watch this channel who are left-wing, and I want to just send out a fucking message that, yes, I saw on camera for you bunch of fucking morons. And to my left-wing allies watching my YouTube channel, I do hope you will, who are basically a pseudo-democratic, pseudo-progressive, left-wing approach to the problem of her, can get in, and once the left-wing parties have gotten in, the alternative right-wing parties have. Thinks that his fucking brown shirts are out committing atrocities in his name. The left-wing isn't fucking neoliberalism anymore. We're gonna search for all the stuff that's just, you know, socialist and left-wing, because we want you to keep enjoying us. That I care about, you know, which is the left wing. I don't care if the right wing hates me and tells me to kill myself, because this is me. This is what I write. I am a left-wing political pundit, political activist. I am a countries. She's
a very nasty woman who does not give a shit. And she's the left-wing option. She's the left-wing option in a regard as good.
I am never going to be a writer that the left wing would fucking regard as, you know, I'm
pretend to be Nazis because we know that you left-wingers don't like Nazis, but like at the same time, genuinely, it's kind of like you've got Matt Farr, who is a left-wing guy, and you've got, you know, Andrew Clark Kehar, who is the right-wing guy. Genuinely, I have seen left-wingers, communists, socialists saying we need to be violent towards the Trump supporters.
Well, all well said that liberal to left-wing may not be warlike, and they may... Welcome to Green Nothing Productions. I am a left-wing autistic person who is against a left-winger, and then you start off when you're young as a left-winger, as a bleeding heart liberal, wanting to change the world, and then isn't quite becoming violent. Isn't quite. But it's damn fucking close. The left wing thinks that Hitler has just gotten into the
longer in first past the post elections, but as far as the left wing is concerned, that means that their particular pet brand, and they're right there. But the trouble is, it's left wing, and the Sun is owned by the same sort of people who use offshore bank accounts. Basically, it turns out that I am a left-winger preaching to the unconverted. If the heroine's friends had been left-wing, if they had been, you know, but even so, you want to have a left-wing president who is going to be prepared to fucking fight for his policies. Pressing to hear just, I suppose, the less fervently left-wing perspective on the utter disaster.
Okay. The left wing do not believe in pragmatism, generally. Or at least they're less likely to be.
That's about left wing needing. That's left wing, and that's left. It's all left wing. I see it now. All the jokers like, hey, we've got kin here. And it is so hard if you are someone on the left wing to tell the difference between on it. And I will try to appeal to, you know, the right and left wing in this, because let's be honest, industry. But I'm interested, and I'm a futurist, and I'm a left winger, and disgusting, because fuck neoconservatism, fuck the left wing, we will present ourselves as the most disgusting things ever. We, you know, well, you know, the left wing, feminism and LGBTQA are going to limit what people can say, like social left-wingers versus, you know, fiscal left-wingers, in the sense that it's a case of, like, the left wing will call you a cunt or a twat biscuit. The right wing, the alt-right will put that out when you heard autistic left-winger. But is nothing to do with me being a fucking left-winger. You know, if you don't think that the right-wingers can be lazy fucking individuals. I thought that, you know, I'm a left-winger now, I don't care about capitalism, I don't care about corporatism, you know, it's nasty here in that I am a flagrantly left-wing individual
talking to a very right-wing American audience. Is increasingly left-wing, increasingly egalitarian, increasingly about
America. You have Bernie Sanders and you have Donald Trump. You have a left-wing anti-establishment candidate and a right-wing anti-establishment candidate. Or so much more left-wing than in America. I mean, like, we call out UKIP for being racist because, you know, they
the most left-wing thing to do, or possibly the most you know, negatively left-wing thing to do. Get lost within. Push back a little. Push back a little and go, yes, you're left-wing, we're going to have a bit of a product about that.
now that defines the fact that people pay money to keep being the left-wing guy preaching to the right-wingers, and it's like, that's why people, well, libertarianism is something that can happen on the left wing or the right wing, but either way, I feel like, well, you know, raising the minimum wage, you know, that's not a living wage, that's not left wing. In America, they're like, channel becomes popular with the right wing, the more that my left wing channel makes money from the right wing, the more the
School of Movies. Actually, quite a bit more left wing than I am. At least in some ways. Like, you know, School of Movies are very left wing, very feminist, very, you know, like, very, you know, against all the things becoming insurgent. The left wing isn't quite becoming violent, isn't quite. Oh yeah, the Conservatives are going to disagree with that. The right-wing people are going to go, oh no, we hate the left wing, we must stop him at all costs. Get the neoliberal
mainstream right-wing parties, because the left wing and the right wing want to destroy right-wing parties.
I'm very much aware of, like, I want to be better, I want to be more left-wing, but there is a little bit of me that's just like, I think because some of you fuckers assume that I'm, like, satirical. Oh, well, he's so left-wing, he must be making a joke. Because anything different is wrong. Anything left-wing, anything, oh, you want to give money to people who don't have it, you evil! Despite that the Farshnuk is vaguely moral, vaguely left-wing, and, you know, anti-capitalist, sort of innately anarchist. For so many years, Labour has taken advantage of the fact that the Scots are so much more left-wing by saying that if you are left-wing, you basically have no chance of getting through the policies that you actually want. You almost have, you know, the right-wing anti-establishment candidate and the left-wing anti-establishment candidate. In the right-wing anti-establishment, gotten into the most powerful office in the Western world. The left-wing thinks that a fucking child rapist has gotten into the most powerful office in the Western world. Candidate over the establishment candidate, and Hillary is not actually left-wing. So the fact that the right wing beat the left. I mean, it's in that case though. It's a case of social left-wingers versus, you know, a resurgence of racist rhetoric to counter the left wing. I mean, just like, well, if our left-wing guys say it's okay, it must be okay then. Let's vote for them. You know, it's I'm not. Look, how left-wing? Sure, you're not. Yeah. I am essentially a success in advertising. In that, what am I? I am someone who is a left-wing feminist. Autist Corbyn over here, that a left-winger can take a centrist right-wing party and reform them for the better. But if you are voting stay in the EU because you're left wing, you're a fucking idiot. Vote out.
I make left-wing videos because I am actually kind of fucking left-wing. And if you don't is doing, then maybe you might inspire enough support within the left-wing population to save you.
You know, a lot of left wingers are actually guilty of this. We're like, it must be satire. It must be stupid.
Serious. But the right wing don't scare me. People who scare me are the left wing because the left wing are my friends. You know, you've got to allow one of us to be your admins, and oh yeah, now the left wingers are being blocked. Now the left wingers are being purged. Now anyone who speaks up.
That have happened, right? Look at how the Tories have lost so much elsewhere, and Scotland's supposedly more left wing, right? That's their whole shtick.
At the tendency of the left wing to be unfair. To not say, hey, this is one lone person, you know, maybe we can talk to this guy. You know, with the left wing forming their own safe space where I wasn't allowed in, and then rationally, morally, ethically, the left wing are right. So we should be able to find a way to convince the right wing of this.
It's not a tool for overthrowing the government. It's not a left-wing tool, right? What it is a bunch of fucking dickless people
Gorbin is a conservative because he's hard left. And that's the problem. Apparently, being left-wing now makes you a fucking awesome. I mean, I will purge right-wingers. It's utterly left-wing propaganda. I'm utterly ashamed of having a civil war because it turns out that, you know, the left-wing who patiently served whilst Tony Blair was in power is that, like, it's a really good podcast. And it's very left-wing, and it's
a lot of it is clearly just people who are like, no, I don't like you. I must attack you. You're left wing, so I shall say that you are on this left wing option. She's the left wing option in a time when we hate the establishment. In a time when the establishment, and thus became, you know, not very left wing diehards at all, are suddenly like, hang on.
Elects the right wing, then they can fuck off over to the USA because fuck it, we're left wing in Britain, even if actually it's just me. Podcast, a really good podcast, and it's very left wing, and it's in fact in many ways it's more left wing and more feminist and LGBTQA for pieces saying, oh great, a cis white man wants to do left wing things for the Labour Party. Well, how like a man, isn't movies are fucking amazing, and I still follow left-wing LGBTQA plus podcasts. I mean, I'm fucking bisexual myself, so yeah.
We are far more compassionate and left-wing to the point where if Bernie Sanders ran over here, he would be a despicable. I am the, you know, the gung-ho guy who will fight dirty and, you know, yeah, left-wingism. The media is so completely corrupt and blah 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 blah. Kind of left wing. Oh yes, the establishment are so corrupt. Ooh.
Never said, right? We should never have a left wing system where the greedy Gothites deserve what they've gotten, because political parties, then you are going to see that a majority in Parliament is left wing. Now that might be a majority that is portraying like these people is kind of, to my very left-wing Guardian reading thing, I can understand why violence against MPs. You know, we've seen what happens when the left wing gets sufficiently motivated.
wheedle out anybody they don't like. I mean, we're seeing this happening in the left wing. You know, we're seeing this happening with, you know, Jeremy Corbyn in Britain. Like, it seems to be that the Labour Party, the Scotland is very left wing, and I obviously I'm very in favour of that. But and of course the right wing have gone, foreigners, and the left wing have gone, don't you dare attack foreigners in. I'm on a creative level with him. Like, we're both people trying to be left wing on YouTube, and we're both people who've got, you know, I don't always agree with other people, right? But I'm left wing, and as far as I'm concerned, my video, I would like a fan base of actual people who like my stuff and like me and are left wing and agree with me on most issues. And I think it's just because they have this idea that, well, left wingers are dirty. I shower quite a lot. Commentary, and he's kind of left wing. He's kind of like, you know, kind of feministic, kind of, you know, very much fucking impossible to us. We want to find a way to destroy them. And the thing is that the left wing, because of the failure of Labour, was that you are too left wing. How fucking left wing can you be when you are matching the Tories' cut for votes are cast for people in left wing political parties? Then you are going to see that a majority in the very bottom left of the grid is just me. Okay, I am utterly left-wing libertarian. But here's the thing. It's like, yay! I have people to convert to the joys of left-wingism. I have no idea what left-wingism means, by the way. I'm not political of it. You have, on the left-wing side of politics, you have certain issues that are perhaps and I realise it's quite weird to bring up a left-wing movie review podcast about an alien monster, and perhaps I should be better because they are better. But they are very left-wing, and I love their reviews most of the time. It's all these right-wing people trying to crush him and destroy him, and even the supposedly left-wing press, like The Guardian, are saying we must crush. I say quite honestly, my Facebook fan page, it's left-wing propaganda. I'm not fact-checking. I'm not going through going, said many times. I mean, almost, this is the thing of, if you only listen to the left wing and you happen to be a cis-white, somewhat inexperienced and incredibly left-wing aspiring feminist, because, hey, what the fuck, right? Left-wing vote for Podemos. That's why the left wing wanted Bernie Sanders, right? Because we want to stop fucking. Oh, it seems I'm under threat from Bernie Sanders. I'm going to appeal more to the left wing. You know, it's so fucking parties, because that makes the left wing weaker in first past the post elections, and that makes the right wing stronger in first. Yes, you're fit enough. You're left wing enough. You're nerdy enough. Hello, let's talk. Openly censors UKIP. He purges people. He claims to be left-wing, and yet, you know, he wants to invade North Korea, you know. British Bernie Sanders, Jeremy Corbyn, I can get quite angry at the sort of the left-wingers who are like, yeah, but America, it's perfectly fine to own a gun. My advice to the left-wingers watching, and to my sort of massive, obviously it's an incredibly predictable insult that you're left wing, so therefore you're poor and you're on benefits, and that's a bad thing because you're a way that there will be a fair and democratic left wing victory at a general election under someone. But they're also very scared that it will let
the left wing get their ideas across. I look at proportional representation and I see it.
You know, you could almost have it as some kind of, you know, left-wing anti-capitalist, you know, diatribe that nature's having.
And the right wing are essentially like the left wing are generally on the sort of
the Tories. And now the left-winger, who is promising to feed the poor, is promising to keep us alive.
ism to stand up to this new left wing. It needs shock troopers. It needs berserkers. It needs...
So predictable. You are so predictable. You aren't right wing or left wing. You are just the opposite. That is all you are. Kind of perhaps seen as a bit too left wing, and in Britain is seen as far too right wing, and America, people for some reason like liberal means left wing. I'm not. I'm regulated. From the police to be freed from left-wingism. It is Andrew Ryan who says, I will make you free to understand that you are not a party that is neither right-wing nor left-wing, and yet is thoroughly despicable. Bigoted. And it doesn't matter how utterly, radically left-wing you are gonna be bigoted by surprising statement, but then I realised every sort of left-wing sort of statement of pride ends in fucking disaster. I mean, the only one who could genuinely be attacked by, you know, the left-wing, by feminists. But I can agree with critics of Corbyn on this point. Right? So this is someone who is that left-wing. And he has seen how... Call me a fucking, you know, bleeding heart liberal left-wing radicalist, you know, if you want. But as far as I'm concerned, if you're murdering someone... Related capitalist pushing the left-wing agenda against the almighty hordes of the different chancellors, right? And die, because anybody who is at all left-wing must be for the extremist left-wing. No, you know what? I'm for because they look at me and they just see someone who is left-wing and autistic and has got low testosterone, and so I am the epitome of purity and genetic purity, and we stand against everything left-wing and socialist. So we are going to make a cult and educate them on the fact that white people are kind of dicks. You know? Let's have a left-wing, male-focused ripple effect if you go from the, you know, at least, you know, publicly thought of as very left-wing champion Barack Obama to, I mean, say what you will about, you know, the left wing and how they're censoring people. Well, gonna be, interesting for the future, because we have, a left-wing Scotland national... The left-wing and the right-wing want to destroy right-wing parties, and the left wing and the right wing both want to propagate left wing parties. Like Clive Owens, I think it is, like, there are genuinely good left wing people in the Labour Party who have stepped forth and who have come forth. It allows you to meet up with all sorts of different people. And this is how the left wing mess up to say, hey, we need Jeremy Corbyn, hey, we need... And you will think completely differently. And the thing is that among the left wing, right, like, yeah, you could imagine this. The grand guy talking about socialism and left-wingism and intersectional feminism. I was a regulated capitalist. I was in the pronouns of my own rhetoric there. I think that's possibly the most left-wing thing to do, or possibly the most.
It just doesn't work. It doesn't make sense. It's not about left-wing or right-wing. It is not about morality. It is about
I'm someone who is flagrantly left-wing, right? I talk about my fucking weirdness, about the weird shit that I write about. I suppose that's also why I kind of follow, pretentious artsy left-wing things, as it's like, I'm very much, because there was a period when being left-wing meant being an actual fucking communist. Meant being a fucking revolutionary. But I suppose ultimately it's up to the left-wing, it's up to the left-wing in society to, immigration driving down the amount of jobs available. Whereas ordinarily, the left wing might have, increased automation driving down the amount of jobs available. There are so many, sorry, I'm mixing. It's not just right wingers. Like, left wingers too are like, when it comes to women, oh, but who watches The Watchmen? Who watches the, left wing political activist who doesn't have a brand, but he's a fan of Sagan for such a long time before I sort of became, this left-wing political pundit. There is stuff that needs to be said, explanations that needs to be given that the left-wing can't do because the left... So if you are someone who likes the union, you're witnessing someone who is more left-wing, more likely to be in favour of a... And the capitalist will go, no, you left-wing, socialist, communist, fuck off, because you see, our job... I'm a genuinely, admittedly, left-wing biased person creating left-wing propaganda, right? And that and they're telling everyone, everything's okay. Even the left-wing people are saying, hey guys, don't riot, don't have revolutions. You've got the left-wing poor who will sort of see immigrants coming into the country, and they... You must be this paragon of left-wingness, of LGBTQ, that you must show extreme deference, that you must... And we've all sort of got slightly different ideas of what the left wing and the right wing are. Like the right wing mimics the fucking left wing in the sense that, in the same way that they're shattered. One of the ways you can tell it's left wing is that, when that story came, refugee children being housed in... They can destroy anybody who is left-wing because the only way they can be left-wing is if they have no money whatsoever and they wither. Former regulated capitalist, as someone on the left wing of the spectrum, and as someone who is interested in technology and in sci-fi, is I want to me of everything that is wrong about the left wing, and I kind of like the people who are like, oh my god, I'm scared. And neoliberalism is stupid in that regard, and that's why the left wing votes for Jeremy Corbyn. That's why the left wing... The fact that I've become, kind of arguably a political left winger. The idea that, it is a bit... Now, the left wing are optimists. The left wing are optimists by our nature, okay? The left wing do not believe right wingers cackling and laughing because look at the left winger who's autistic being funny. I feel such... they get fed the narrative that they are used to. So the left wing get this complicated narrative. He obviously shared it to me because you're left wing, aren't you? Okay. Yeah, I'm left-wing. Yeah,
The conservative move as kind of left-wing because, oh look, living wage that they don't have to pay.
Does, on occasion, go against the left-wing status quo. You know, I was someone who made a video saying that there are left-wing, they don't want to be seen to make compromises. They don't give a shit what the left-wing thinks of them. They want to make the left-wing easier than ever whatsoever. Like, please, you must watch the left-wing propaganda. And they've got their eyes wide open. I can't stop.
Does not automatically mean that they agree with the left-wing non-racist perspective. What it does mean, however, is that
the left wing can't do, because the left wing, I mean, this is the reason that I can't get into debates.
President, then the left wing have more of a chance. Because, hey, fucking Donald Trump got elected. Anything is possible.
If you were more left-leaning, if you were more left-wing, if you were saying, hey guys, we know.
So, you know, because we are kind of left-wing and all kind of being fucked over in various different ways, I mean, it's not just isn't relevant anymore. You know, I see people on, you know, because I'm left-wing, you know, I talk in these... Isn't fucking neoliberalism anymore. Left wing isn't going to reach across the floor and say, hey, we can...
My very left-wing channel is looking increasingly like a right-wing channel.
Basically making my anxiety worse that were coming from the left wing. And now the right wing keep messaging me.
Tories 2.0 and getting to power, and then we will be better than them, and we will be able to do left-wing's politics.
Have been competent enough to achieve something, but instead you elected a moron who actually is sort of left-wing in some areas. So